Hi guys, I'm Megan.
And I'm Abby.
And welcome to our safe space.
I'll restart.
Okay.
This episode you guys are about to hear, we're listening to it back. And
It's so crazy.
This whole episode, we're going to go into our friendship and a time we had a friendship breakup. And we just want to put a disclaimer.
Random
disclaimer. That we dramatized the shit out of this scenario. This scenario at the coffee house.
Also, literally, I could have just apologized, and this would have been over with. The whole time, I'm like, yeah, I just feel like we really drifted apart. No. So, just laugh with us.
Laugh with us.
We are looking back. We thought we were so deep. This was recorded late at night, too. It was 10:30. We were both tired.
We thought it was really deep. I still think there's some takeaways from it.
There is.
And it's still kind of funny to listen to, so we're still going to post it. But we just want to throw in this disclaimer that it's not that deep.
It's not deep at all.
It's not that deep. All we had to
so
do
dramatic.
was say that was a little awkward. Sorry.
Me mentally preparing. I'm like, oh god. Yeah, so just take it with a grain of salt. This was actually probably my best acting performance I think I've ever done. I was very, what did you say? It's not you, it's me. I'm the drama, I'm the problem.
It was when you said, and then I realized, wow, that was my fault.
It's the self-awareness that Megan gains 40 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah. But it takes a while. It
does take her a while.
But
just remember we were also 18.
We were also 18. It ends on a good note, though.
It does.
Okay, there's a moral.
So definitely listen. But if you cringe, just know we're cringing with you.
We are.
And
yeah,
we're gonna upload this, even though I don't think I can ever hear. If I hear someone listening to this,
I'm not listening to this over again.
I can't do that. Okay. All right.
We love you guys.
All right.
Enjoy
Bye.
the episode.
Yes.
Back again.
We are
for episode 2.
Episode 2
of our safe space.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to.
No,
set
Megan's
up a
starting the timer so we know how long we've been recording for this time.
But I also my Apple Watch. Yes, my Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I'm just not like other girls.
She's not like other girls. So we are actually filming this episode literally the day after we filmed our first episode, and technically right now. Yeah. It's the day that we released our first episode.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're pre-recording because we're both going to be really busy this week, and we're going home for the weekend. So we want to make sure we have an episode to go up on Friday for you guys.
Yes.
So we are
double life.
We are living a double life. So we are pre-recording this episode. And Megan, what is this episode going to be about?
Okay, so hi guys. It's Megan. Just introduce myself again. In case you forgot.
You forgot.
We do sound very similar though. We talked
do.
About that.
We were like, wow, we sound kind of similar.
And also, just another gatekeep of this episode. Mm-hmm. If you can count how many times Abby and I say preface.
We're prefacing this podcast
now
by saying we are not allowed to say the word preface.
And if you hear it,
oh my god.
Yeah, I guess we'll just be executed on the spot or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Think of some creative ways. But basically this podcast, we teased about it in our last podcast, which is yesterday when we're filming this, but it'll be a week before for you guys about our friendship breakup.
That sounds so dramatic.
But basically we'll talk about our story and just generally talking about friendships in your 20s, us being 21.
Yeah.
We understand friendship.
We get it.
But early adulthood friendships, because I feel like you don't no one ever talks about.
Yeah, no one does, and I feel like if they do, it's very swept under the rug, just oh, we were friends, but it's done now, we're not friends anymore. And I feel I feel like we just want to talk about falling out with friends, even huge breakups with friends, because that shit can hurt just as much as an actual relationship.
Yeah, no, yes, falling out, or even just not even a big dramatic thing, just
yeah,
just
even just
yeah,
exactly. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
But to start, we said we'll do our highlight and low light segment, which, as we just said, we are pre-recording. So we literally, it has only been 24 hours since we last recorded. So we're just going to tell you guys what we're looking forward to this week and what we're not looking forward to this week. So Megan, what are you not looking forward to and what are you looking forward to this week?
You're right. This is kind of like I'm in a classroom setting. And we're
right.
like going around, and it's like, okay,
all right,
alphabetical, and then I have to go first. Okay, highlight in this day and age.
Yeah.
I guess I'll manifest for next week.
Okay, yeah.
I'll say my highlight for next week will be sleeping the whole night through.
Yes.
A big talking point was...
You should manifest that so you don't see Dennis.
So we don't see Dennis. I know, I was going to say. Now everybody knows about my...
They know.
My guy up in the sky. He's not really in the sky.
More like in your
my
room in the corner.
He's just lurking there. But highlight would definitely be sleeping through the night because we don't think sleep is important. But
it is very important.
When you're not getting it,
yeah.
Freaky things. That's all I'm saying.
Freaky things.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Leave it up to the imagination. Just kidding. Low light for this week. Honestly, guys, not to make this like I'm a college student.
Okay.
But Abby already knows what I'm going to say before I say it. I have an 8 to 10:45 at night class. And
every Wednesday.
It's the absolute worst. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a night person. I just don't like being anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
So
I just like when Megan told me she had an 8 to 10:45 p.m. class, I like didn't even know they offered those here.
No,
and that's tragic. Do. Every time I see Megan leaving, I'm like in my PJs, comfy in my bed, and I'm like, God bless.
Snuggling up.
Because I cannot do that. So I don't blame you. I would be dreading that every week if I were you.
Well, yeah. But I feel like, wow, I'm really just going to shout out some people here.
Oh, go ahead.
Shout out to Jenny and Tyler.
Hey, they're probably not listening to this.
They're probably like, I told
you guys
them
better be
episode.
listening to this.
They're my class besties.
Oh, yes.
But I suggest everyone, if you're in college, definitely befriend people, even if, like...
Oh, yeah.
As the topic is friendship today. I thought it was, like, weird before the pandemic to be like, oh, my God, hey.
Yeah, just to, like, reach out in class.
Yeah, but now after the pandemic, I'm like, screw it.
Right? We are, like, so deprived of, like, socialization. We're like... Let me talk to everyone.
Yeah.
I just go up to, like, everyone. I'm like, hey.
And they're like, can you, like, tone it down?
They're like, all right, I'm trying to just, like, do this lecture and, like, bounce.
Yeah. And you're like, no, I'm actually in love with you.
Please.
Just kidding.
Megan's just always professing her feelings.
Maybe a little too freely. But anyways,
yeah.
Abigail, do we have a highlight and a low light?
I'll start with the low light. So I guess, like, this is kind of, like, general, but I guess I'm not looking forward to just, like, classes and, like, doing work.
Like,
that just,
college
like,
things.
doesn't sound fun, you know what I mean? I'm just not looking forward to that. What I am looking forward to, well, I guess I'm going home next weekend for Camilo's birthday to celebrate for him. So I'm looking forward to that.
Her boyfriend.
Oh,
Shout out to Camilo.
Shout out to Camilo. He's probably not listening to this. Yeah. He hasn't even listened to the first episode yet.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he is in California right now.
And to be fair, it's the same day that we released.
It hasn't even been 24 hours. We're like, Camilo. Anyway, sorry, Camilo. Love you.
Kisses.
So yeah, that's our highlight and low light.
Yeah. So that's good to open with that.
It is good to open with that. I feel like we want to make sure we have our check-ins.
Yes.
We're checking in with each other and everyone who listens.
And I feel like I want to be this person. If you have a highlight and or a low light, write it down in the comments.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's comments here.
Like if there's something you're really looking forward to and or something that happened to you that's really great. I feel like we just nowadays we're in the culture where it's like I need to be like depressed all the time. And it's not cool for me to be happy.
True. Yeah, no. That could be a whole literally us every podcast. That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother episode.
And it's like you're not interesting if you're happy, which like
yeah.
Which is like, you know what? I fall into that. But then also
heavy.
What? We can never be happy or relatable. If not even happy, just like not depressed,
right? Just like content. Like we can't be content.
Just like vibing.
That was like me last episode because I was like, I don't know if I have a low light, and I was like, this feels weird.
Happy all the time.
I was like, I need to be depressed. Okay. Anyways, so
Anyways.
I guess yeah. So that's our opening segment.
There's no other better transition.
So there's
for
no
this.
better transition. I guess this episode is gonna be a little deeper than the last. Last one we really threw some chaotic energy at you guys.
We learned some stuff about us that maybe you didn't want to.
Yeah, which also, if you haven't seen that episode, I would recommend seeing that first, because we explain how we met, which kind of like segues into like our friendship.
Yeah. But we can make a long story short. Just that Abby and I met on the first day of our freshman year.
We really could have just said that last episode. Yeah, we just like met like in class. Like,
it wasn't like this cosmic like change
right? Like,
in the
whoa.
universe.
To me it was.
You lied about that because you know what? I said I locked eyes with your big
Oh.
baby blues.
Ew.
You said
not the
you said
big
it was
baby
nothing.
blues.
You said it was nothing.
I just said that was a little cringy.
Okay, that's fair. But I think everyone listening knows that we have pioneered cringy.
Okay.
Okay.
That's valid. Anyways,
All right,
so I guess
timeline.
we'll get into the nitty gritty. What we've been
Nitty-gritty.
teasing. We're really like trying to drop this like it's like
We're like it's
big
like
drama. We're like stir the
big
pot.
drama, stir the
We're
pot.
micro influencers now. Micro celebrities.
We're beefing.
They want to know the tea.
Yeah.
Of us beefing. So yeah,
Even if
I
they
don't even
don't.
know where to start here. So friendship timeline.
Yes, friendship talk. We were high school besties, but
We
we
were.
had a rocky road. We had a rocky road.
We
Not
had a
even rocky in
rocky-
high school. Rocky after
Rocky
high school.
after.
Ugh.
But not even Rocky. Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay, so why don't we just start with freshman year? Basically, you heard our origin story, and we were very
Our
close.
Joker origin story.
Yes, we were very small bean.
We were oh my god. If you knew us then, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, you know how we said we were chorus girls last episode?
We're still chorus girls.
We're
Yeah.
still 5, 6, 7, 8.
Chorus girls.
No. If I go high, you can't go high.
Okay.
Chorus
Chorus
girls.
girls.
Actually, like I feel like your alto is very pretty.
Right?
Maybe
Thanks.
mezzo, but,
we were mezzos.
We were
Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, so freshman year,
We were close.
good year.
Especially the summer after freshman year. We were like super close. We forgot
Mm-hmm.
to mention this last episode. But yeah, we would hang out a lot that summer. That was summer 2015. And
things were easy.
things were easy. We started watching Friends together.
Yep,
Listen,
we
it
dropped
was a
that.
low point for
It
us.
was a low point.
We were on a break.
We
Wait,
were-
why is
we
that
were
literally
kind of
us?
on a
Okay, I'm
break.
sorry. We're
Okay,
getting ahead of
okay,
ourselves.
Stop. But would I be Ross?
Anyways,
Because I
100%.
I don't want to be Ross. I don't want to be Ross.
100% you're the Ross. No. Because once we explain, you're the Ross.
Are you saying that I'm
Because
the
you're
man in
kind
this
of the bad guy
relationship?
in the relationship. A little bit. Would you agree?
I feel like, yeah.
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
You're going to hear some stuff about me, and I hope that
Oh, this is.
it doesn't go
Yeah, I feel like
south.
this does kind of.
I feel like this...
Okay,
But I feel like it's good because, like, we both made weird, like, communication was just off. But we're gonna get there.
we're getting
Shut
somewhere.
up.
Shut up. Anyways, so we were super close that summer. We would watch Friends. We would go play tennis. We would swim in
swimming?
Megan's neighborhood public swimming pool.
Yes. Abby would not put her head underwater, and I always made fun of her.
listen,
But then I thought about it, and everyone
Yeah,
was peeing. That middle-aged
everyone-
man in the corner, peeing.
Peeing.
The kid,
Peeing.
The pregnant mom, peeing.
Peeing.
Me, just kidding. I was not.
Okay.
Okay. I always believed... No, I didn't pee because I believed the
We-
myth that your pee would turn, like, dark blue.
I've never heard of that
Well,
myth.
I think it was in, like, the Grown Ups movie.
Oh, really? Because of the chlorine?
Yeah. So I literally would, like, hold my pee in. I was like,
Damn.
okay, everyone pees in the ocean, but, like, in a pool, I was like,
Yeah,
they
a
can't
pool,
know.
no.
Pool's
Ocean, okay.
concentrated.
Pool, well, to be fair, I guess there's so much chlorine that, like, it wouldn't really matter.
I wish I knew that as a kid, because there were so many
Yeah.
times where I was like,
It would
I
just
could get
kill
kidney
off
stones
everything.
from
Oh.
this.
Oh my
That's
god.
just kidding. Not to normalize the struggle of people with kidney stones. That's its own. That's its own podcast.
That's its own podcast. Who wants to come on talk about their kidney stones? Anyways, so we were super close that summer. Like it was definitely like the two of us. We were inseparable.
Just the two of us.
Also, I was just about to say to preface. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not saying we're preface. But we were part of like a friend group. We should probably explain that just so it makes sense that it wasn't just like we were friends, but we also were a part of a friend group.
Yeah, it was a pretty big friend group, but we had that cosmic connection.
But we had that cosmic connection, and that summer we hung out alone a lot. Yeah. And that like started our friendship, I guess. And then I guess after that, truthfully, high school is a blur. She's a blur.
She's kind of a blur.
And I feel like everyone can relate. We were just talking about this. Like, your friendships in high school were really dependent upon, like, your class schedule.
Yep.
And who you were around that whole year, because we didn't have block schedule. We had, like, 8 periods in a day. So we had the same classes all year.
Yeah, which, looking back, it's just, like, I could never do that now.
Oh, hell no.
I'm like,
absolutely
what?
not.
The same teacher day
And
in,
you would go
day out.
every single day, so you'd have to do homework for that class every single day.
No one talks about the
That's
struggles of high school
torture.
kids.
Yeah, no.
They are going, like, everyone's like, why are they so, like, why do they stay inside all the time? Why
are
do they
they
never
so
do anything?
depressed?
Maybe you should look at their, like,
Maybe
daily
it's because we were literally waking up at, like, 5 a.m.
Yeah,
and then, like, having
staying
to
out till, like,
study
3.
all night.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then at sports, well,
for some of us.
For some of us. For me, half of my high school experience, which kind of leads into why...
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So, like, sophomore year. Well, sophomore year we kind of still stayed together because remember how we mentioned our teacher, Vargas. And how we met in her class freshman year.
Shout out.
Well, we actually had her again for sophomore year together.
Yay.
So,
Insert
that
clapping
kind of
chat.
kept us close sophomore year. And then, yeah, I guess...
It was really... I feel like junior year, we kind of weren't in the same
Junior year was a
classes,
blur.
so Abby and I started to kind of drift, and we were also the type of people that, like, we would always invite people to our hangout.
Yeah, like, we would want to, like, hang out alone, I guess, or, like, plan things alone, but then it would turn into, like, bigger group things, or, like, Megan and I, too, are very introverted, as we said.
Yes.
And it's not that, like, we don't like hanging out with people, but, like, we can get flaky because we are introverted, but we always knew we didn't have to put up that front with each other. And
Yeah.
therefore, I think that kind of caused our friendship to be on the back burner sometimes.
Yeah.
Where we'd be like, we don't need to hang out because, like, I know you're stressed. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was very much like if Abby told me that she didn't, like, you never explicitly said you didn't want to hang out, but you'd be like, oh, like, I'm tired. Like, I would believe you.
Yeah.
Like, you would be like, oh, like, I literally don't want to hang out because I've been, like,
Exactly.
I was going to say
Yeah.
turned on, but I hope not. But you just, like, you know, you're talking to people, and it's exhausting all week,
No,
especially
yeah.
high school.
We get very exhausted by
We
social
do.
interaction. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a lot of the times we would just be like, yeah, we don't need to hang out. And, like, that kind of caused our friendship to be on the back burner. But then senior year, we got super close again.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it was very similar vibes to, like, summer 2015 when we would hang out a lot alone. We started to, like, not even, like, hanging out a lot alone, but, like, we would, like, drive to, like, LOL chorus, like, events
Oh
together
my
because we lived
God.
near each other. So we were spending a lot of, like, alone time.
Well, yeah, we would sit in
together.
our cars, too.
We would sit in our cars, like, after school and talk.
Yeah. We did.
So-
We did get closer, and I think it was because also, like, our friend group at that time had started to, like, kind of break apart.
Yeah.
So we kind of were like, oh, like, we can talk.
Yeah, we, like,
more.
came back to each other. And
Yeah.
I remember, like, at one point, senior year, we were, like, in our cars after school, like, freaking maniacs, just sitting there and talking. And I remember you literally were like, yeah, you're, like, kind of my only friend right now. And I remember I was like, damn, I was like, you're kind of, like, not even just, like, I'm
Yeah.
your only friend, but you were like, yeah, you're, like, my closest friend right now. And I was like, damn, wait, yeah, you're, like, my closest friend right now. And I feel like we had that realization where we were like, like, we kind of, like, came back to each other at the end of high school.
Yeah.
And we were, like, close again.
Wait, that's, like, it's weird.
I don't know if you remember that. That
I
was, like, a weird
don't.
random moment.
I also feel like a lot of people go through that, because it's, like, you have a lot of,
Yeah.
like, friends to get you through the day in your classes, but they're not, like, your true friends.
Yeah, they're not, like, your true friends. Like, it's not, like, somebody, you would, like, sit and, like, have a heart-to-heart with.
Yeah, but also, it was cool in our friendship at that time because we were so busy and we were so introverted that it was like we could have those times together in school, and like if this is you, like, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, your friendships, you don't need to be hanging out with the person 24/7.
Yeah, 24/7, yeah.
You know, needing to know everything going on in their life for you to be close.
Yeah, which we've always had that friendship where we were, like, the type where they say, like, oh, you know, when you, like, talk again and it's, like, nothing changed.
Yeah.
Which is, like, corny, but that was always us. Like, we never needed to be with each other, like, 24/7. But
Yeah.
because of that, I
Yeah.
feel like we, again, like, definitely put things on the back burner sometimes. Where we
Yeah.
were like, oh, it's fine, we'll always be friends, and then we'll get to that. But
I mean, I think we're at that because
we can't. Well, I feel like we need to explain, like, end of senior year. friendships.
Okay.
Like, we were really close senior year, but we also had, like, friend groups that we were getting close to.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a friend group, I had a friend group.
Yeah.
And so you started hanging out with that friend group a lot. And also to, like, set up end of senior year, that's when you're deciding where you want to go to college,
Yep.
what you want to do after you graduate. And at that point, I had decided on going away to the school that I'm at now, and Megan had decided on going to community college. So that also kind of, like, segues into things. So it was already, like, you know, when you get to the end of, like, senior year of high school and you're like, oh, like, damn, like, none of us are going to be near each other, with each other. Like, we're probably all going to drift apart. But,
it's
like,
an end of an era.
No, it is. And you, like, kind of don't, like, realize it in the moment. And then, like, high school ends and you're like, shit. And, like, all your friendships, like, fall apart. And you, like, within the blink of an eye, and you're like, oh, like, you didn't even mean for it to happen. But it's like,
yeah,
that's how it is.
I think, yeah, it was just weird for me because I was always on pretty good terms with everyone. And I was just, like, kind of that, like, acquaintance, I feel like, for a lot of people. And then it was, it was weird for me because you go from, they don't talk about it. So, like, they don't talk about this. They don't know I know this hack.
They don't know I know this hack.
But, like, and obviously you had a different experience, but, like, you know, I found the people that were staying in my town and going to my community college.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I started bonding with them because I was like, oh, well, you know, shared experience, which, and shared environment.
Exactly. Yeah, and at the same time, I was getting close to one of my friends. Shout out to Gab. Love you.
Yes, Gab.
Who was going to Rowan with me. So I was getting close with Gab because it's kind of like, you're kind of like mentally prepping of like, okay, I'm not going to be with the same people I've been with all 4 years. And it's weird because we were friends like all 4 years.
Yeah.
Whether like it was times when we weren't as close or we were close. So it definitely was weird. And we definitely never had any explicit conversations of like, which like looking back at it, that's so weird. Like we never sat down and had a conversation of like, oh, like we're not going to be like, you know, like with each other. Like we're not going to be near each other. I think we were just like, oh, like we're going to be friends. But then as we'll explain, the sequence of events that summer after we graduated just like completely like tore us apart. And like then we just like weren't talking.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we can start to get into that because I mean, we
like
end. It's gonna be like so anticlimactic.
It's like really anticlimactic.
Okay,
it's a falling out story.
It's a falling out.
With a little tea.
We had our meetup
in.
story, and now we have to have our meet cute, if you will.
Our meet cute, and now we need to have the tea.
Our fall cute.
Our fall cute.
And then meet cute 2.0. Anyways,
oh yeah.
So that was kind of leading up to our falling part. You were just hanging out more with like Gab and like people
like
that were going to school and other and then I was hanging out with people staying here.
Yeah.
And so
we graduated.
And then we spent the summer kind of like not really hanging. We
didn't
really hang that summer.
You went to Australia.
He's gonna hate us for saying that.
Why?
Because Eden, my best friend, if you're listening,
love you, Eden.
We love you. She will always bring up the fact that I traveled to another country. But listen, it's a personality trait at this point.
No, it was. Which, like, looking back, you very much were that bitch who's like, I just traveled to another country. I am hot shit, but I don't blame you. Like, that'd be me. Like,
fair.
Okay, Miss
I wasn't
Australia.
like I'm hot shit, but I was like,
no,
Americans.
Yeah. You weren't conceited, but like you definitely Americans.
I was like, oh, God, can't
But
relate.
you definitely came back just like in a different like mind space. Plus, like, I don't know, like you can share a little bit about like what you were going through, knowing like you were going to community college, whereas like other friends were like going to like state colleges or out of state colleges, because that also like really defined it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel. Okay, I think the new word for this episode is going to be I feel. I've been saying.
I feel.
I'm trying to use I statements, everyone. I'm talking about myself. All right, it's hard. Yeah, community college was weird too. Yes, because like I had my close friends like Eden going to community college, who other friendships blossomed, but then other friendships like with Abby put on the back burner, and it was kind of like, I think I kind of maybe even it's coming out now.
Go ahead.
I feel like I maybe even avoided hanging out with you because because it was just like, you know, the excitement, you're going away to a 4-year school, you're staying there. And I was very much, you know, my whole high school career, I assumed I would go away to school. Yeah. My parents and I had always talked about it, but then it came to, and I was super anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything, and not saying that people go to 4-year schools and they know all that stuff, but it was a good decision for me. And I was also had the privilege of being in a home where I felt safe enough, and supported.
Yeah,
so
but it's a hard decision.
Yeah.
Deciding where you want to go, and there's so much like stigma surrounding like going to community college or even just like going away and dropping out. Like there's so much stigma of like, you didn't do like the crazy thing and like go away to college, but
or the dropping out and switching back to community college. But yeah, basically, I think I might have put our friendship
I think
on the back burner.
I think I might have been the drama.
I think I was kind of the drama, just because I was like, oh, well, like, I think it was nonchalantly me being like I love Abby, but I don't want my jealousy, I guess, to get in the way of your happiness, because I wouldn't be genuine. Like, I knew you were excited to. It's like when you go on a trip.
Yeah.
And like,
and you're like, ooh, I wish that was me, but like you want to be excited for them. But then,
or like me talking about my whole entire trip, and it's like you didn't go, so like. Like, you're excited, but you're also just like, okay, like, I really wanted to travel another country. I don't know. Like, something like that.
No, yeah. I know what you mean.
So, yeah, it was the struggle of feeling, like, inadequate, because I was like, oh, I'm, like, not doing this thing that I thought I was going to do for, like, my whole life.
Yeah.
And then also, oh, my God, people close to me are doing that thing, and, you know, I feel like maybe I'm being left behind in a sense.
Yeah.
So that was running through my little brain. But you were also, you know, getting ready.
Yeah, I was just, like, getting ready to go away. Honestly, at that point, I was under the assumption that, like, oh, like, we're fine. Like, the vibe, like, fell off. But I was also, like, oh, there's, like, no shot. Like, you know, we would fall apart. Like, I think we're still gonna, like, text and, like, talk to a certain extent. Like we did before. Because, again, like we said, like, sophomore, junior year, we weren't as close. But we still were friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I still always knew, like, I could go to you. So, yeah, I think the vibes were just weird. And then all of our hangouts that summer, we didn't have a single hangout alone.
Nope.
We hung out, like, a few times. And, like, the few times we hung out, it was with, like, very large groups.
Yep.
And it was a lot of, like, your new friends you were making. And so, which I was, like, fine with. And I was, like, so happy for you. And I was like, oh, you have all these friends. But that was bad on my part as a friend. Because I, like, wasn't even thinking about, like, how you were feeling about, like, your decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we talked enough about that. Because I feel like senior year is so, like, rushed. And everyone's just like, oh, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. And I feel like we didn't even, like, check in with each other. Like, I don't remember us ever having conversations of, like, oh, like, how are you doing with your choice? You know what I mean?
But yes, looking back, I'm like, I wish we had conversations about that. But at the time, too, it's just kind of like, when you're in high school, I feel like you're just so self-centered.
It's like, yeah.
You're not thinking about anyone else, which isn't your fault.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But, like, yeah, like, looking back, I'm like, oh, wish we had a conversation. But also, like, because, like, I'm glad in a way that we didn't, because, like, who knows?
I know, yeah.
You know?
Who knows?
But it leads up to so, you all know I'm a Leo sun.
Wait, what are you about to mention?
I'm going to talk about
what are you talking about?
Birthday dinner.
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
I was like, I feel like there's no way we can avoid
no way around
the birthday dinner.
This was when the line was drawn in the sand.
This was when the line was like, oh, like I like was feeling the vibes, but I was like, this was so weird. Like I like don't even feel like I can text you about it. Weird.
Yeah, it was. So picture the scene. You're turning 18.
Scene.
It's summer 2018. Whoa.
Megan's a baby.
I'm a little baby girl.
And her birthday's very late. It's in August.
It is in August. So, can you guess the day?
Let's guess, everyone. Oh, we're saying it together.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 12th. I was kidding. It's the 7th.
Like, what? I was like, since when?
Anyways. So yeah, I invite all my friends. No, but like all my new friends that I made that summer from community college, and then all my friends from high school. And
no, let's. I was about to say preface. It was all so basically Megan and I. It wasn't like a group chat was made or anything. You just reached out to me and you were like, oh, actually, no. I reached out to you. So I had my 2 close friends that yeah, I just had 2 close friends, and I reached out to Megan, and I was like, we should go to this really cool place. It's worse when you know that I brought it up and I created this whole event, and you just invited everyone you knew.
Wait, you did.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even about my birthday. It wasn't I think I just made that up that it was about my birthday.
No, it wasn't about your birthday.
It wasn't about my birthday. It's the Leo sun. Oh my god, it wasn't about my birthday.
No, it was literally very end of August.
Oh my god.
It was after your birthday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And
the whole month's my birthday, bitch.
And so I had my 2 close friends, and I was like, oh my god, we should go to this really cool place. It's this place, like a little north of where we live.
Yeah.
Where, like, everyone goes, like, late at night.
It's like
let's say it's where...
Bongos. It's like a nighttime coffee shop.
It's like a place where everyone gets high and goes to.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
We were not high?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. But,
we weren't. No.
we actually
weren't.
So, yeah, so it's a place where everyone goes late at night. And, yeah, it's just, like, the vibe. It's, like, vibey. You get the feel.
Yes.
And
they're like, I do not get the feel.
Yeah, they don't. But it was, like, kind of, like, the big place at, like, that age everyone would go to, because everyone was starting to drive and be like, let's go there, like, late at night.
Yeah.
Because what else is there to do?
Yeah.
So I reached out to Megan, and I was like, oh, my God, I think again, this was us bringing everyone else we know into one of our hangouts when we should have just gone together.
Abby and I should have communicated the fact that we just wanted to hang out together, but we can never do that, and instead we invite people because...
Well, to be fair, I was like, okay, I can bring my 2 friends, but you were also friends with those friends. Yeah. So that was a weird. Yeah. And so I was like, we could all go to this place that's super cool, and I think you responded, and you were like, yeah, I'll bring... And I listed off everyone.
You
and
should
I was like, okay.
Yelled at me.
No, but I also thought it was cool because keep in mind, I knew these people too. It's not just randos. Like, it's people who I also was friends with. So
fair.
It wasn't weird. And again, we had been hanging out with them over the summer. Yeah. Like your birthday hangout, it wasn't that night, but your birthday hangout was
very chaotic.
A couple weeks before that, I was like hanging out with all those people.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically we get to the restaurant and we have this big group of
people. Okay, wait, I get to the restaurant. This makes it even worse. I get to the restaurant. Mind you, this place is like a little shack. Like, it's like small. Yes. And I go up and I say, like, how many people? Because Megan invited, like, everyone and their fucking mothers.
10 people.
Definitely more than that.
I was flexing the fact that I had, like, fake friends, and I was like, literally, I'm inviting all my friends.
Literally.
Not that they're bad people. I'm just saying
no,
that the
I know
friendship wasn't genuine.
And so I walk in, I say that, and they're like, well, we can't fit you at a big table altogether. We're going to have to split you into 2 tables. I'm sorry, this is so traumatic to relive.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyways, so they say, we're going to have to split you into 2 tables. So I think I went in, because you weren't there yet.
No.
None of your friends were there yet.
No.
I went in with my 2 friends.
And Camilo.
And then my one friend's significant other at the time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it was, I guess that was what, how many of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
Yeah.
At one table, and we sit down. And we think, we're not going to be the only ones alone at this table. Like, other people are going to sit here, right? And then the other table's open for, like, any, like, flow over, like, anybody else. So, Megan, I think you came in, like, last, though, to be fair. Yeah, I think all of your friends showed up first. I was like, hey, guys. And I explained the whole situation. Mm-hmm. And everyone else chose to sit at the other table. Oh. Looking back, wasn't Eden there? Yeah. Eden, you're a fake ass bitch. Why weren't you sitting with me? No, but Eden was talking with me the whole night. Eden was... We'll get there. But basically,
we're going to have Eden on soon.
Yes, we will. We love Eden.
Yes.
But you, so all your friends sat down at the other table. You showed up last.
Oh.
And you sat down with them. Okay. Not with me.
Okay.
Mind you, it was like, that table was like full. My table was like 5 of us. And also, this place has like loud music playing. Like, if you're split up, you're not talking to each other. And I think, like, throughout the night, like, Eden turned around and would talk to us. But literally the whole night, nobody else talked to us.
Especially me.
Yep, especially. I literally can't remember you saying a single word to us. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
I think you said hello.
I think I said, hey, guys, and I walked over to the table and I talked to you for, like, 5 minutes. Okay. And I want to say something because it doesn't seem significant, but it is.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to mention that. I didn't know if you wanted to mention it.
So
shout out to him if he's listening.
Shout out to your raging hormones when you're a teenager, because for some reason, like, you know, like I was just like, oh God, like this new person that I'm talking to is here with me, blah, 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 blah. We'll get to my problems with vulnerability later on.
That's another episode.
But, and all these new friends. And again, I really just think it's because I'm like, oh, like in my brain, I was like, I know Abby. Like, they'll be fine at their table.
Yeah. No, which I get that. You were very much like, oh, like, they'll be fine. Like, they're, like, it wasn't in a mean way. Like, you weren't like, and, like, looked at us and just, like, didn't sit with us. You just, like, thought, like, okay, like, that group is priority because, A, the person you were talking to sat with them because he knew them. Yeah. So you sat with him. Mm-hmm.
It was just very, like, it was very typical high school.
It was
very awkward. And, like, I, at the time, okay, so in my head, my anxiety is screaming, Megan, get up and walk over to the other table.
Yeah.
I was so anxious, and I was like, walk up to the other table and talk to them.
Were you actually, like, anxious?
Yes.
Okay, so you noticed it, too.
Yes,
okay,
I did.
It very much felt like our table was like, ooh, this is awkward, and the other table was just vibing. Yeah. It felt like that, but okay.
No, yeah, because, again, we hadn't really hung out that summer.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
no, yeah.
Go up and talk to them, and then every single time I would get up, or not get up, obviously, because I didn't, but I would just be like, oh, God, like, what would I talk to them about? Like, they obviously are, like, fine, and they don't want to, like, what would I say to them? And then time kept going by, and I was like, Megan, get up from your chair and go talk to your friends. Mm-hmm. And then it just kept turning into where, like, I was super anxious, and then also, like, you know, like, all these new people at my table, and I was very overwhelmed. Yeah. And then I was like, I know I'm being a shitty person right now, but also, like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So it was just crazy because after that, we did not talk. Like, it was very weird. I don't even remember, like, leaving. I think we all were just like, bye. And then I just remember polite leaving, yeah.
It was so, like, weird. We just never text each other again.
No.
Never text each
other.
I
didn't talk to anyone else from, like, your friends, too, that were, like, my mutual friends.
Yeah, you never didn't talk to them either.
Literally haven't, well, I mean, Gab was there, obviously, but, like, I haven't talked since.
Yeah.
It did draw a line in the sand.
It drew a line. It was just awkward, and also, again, I feel like that summer was so stereotypical, like, movie summer in a sense, because it was very much like you were like going your way, I was going my way. So the fact that happened, literally, like, I think it was like, to make it even better, I think that might have been us, like, saying like that was our last hangout. Yeah, I think we might have planned it because we were like, oh, like, let's get together one more time before I go. Yeah, I think that might have been the point of the hangout. I kind of forget,
but again, I just don't, like, I don't know, like, okay, let us know if you've had the same problem, but like, are you ever guilty of inviting other people to a hangout?
Megan has this problem.
It's a chronic issue.
She invites everyone, which I understood because I low-key think at the time, too, I might have said, like, why don't you bring, like, the person you were talking to? Mm-hmm. So then I think you were just like, oh, we'll bring all of our friends.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, don't know if I want to go to a dinner alone with this person.
Again, you were definitely trying to avoid me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Which, like, looking, like, I did not understand at the time. I was very confused. I, like, in my brain, I was just, like, and no hard feelings. Like, I, like, truthfully, like, we've talked about this. I, like, wasn't mad about it. Like, in the moment, I was kind of like, that's weird. But I, like, wasn't mad because I honestly was just like, oh, like, Megan looks like she's having a good time. Like, she has, like, all her friends. Like, I'm happy for her. Like, she seems like she's vibing. And I understood it. Like, at the time, I just felt very, like, oh, it's just, like, she's going her way. She's doing her thing. Like, I support that. Like, I very much was like, oh, chill. So I wasn't really, like, mad. That night after, like, we, like, all went out to eat, I was a little like, ooh, okay, that was weird.
It was a very weird energy.
Yeah. It was very weird.
And not for nothing, but, I mean, not that they had to, because, like, I was pretty much uniting. We were the uniters of these two groups.
Yeah.
But the people I was with, like, no, like, it was very much like, you guys were behind us, and so it was like we did not pay attention to you.
Eden, again, I think, was, like, the only one.
Eden was, like, trying to kind of get you guys involved in the conversation, but then it was, like, weird because it would be like, so, like, who's excited to
I
go to
know.
community college?
Looking back, I'm kind of like, did they even know we were invited, or did they think we were just there eating as well?
I don't know.
Did they think my table would just happen to be there?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but
I don't know. So yeah,
that was our falling apart.
That drew a line in the sand. We literally didn't text each other after that.
We didn't reconnect until 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So we didn't talk, didn't text. I can't even think what my brain was processing of that. Again, it was kind of like a gradual drift apart.
Yes.
Because it was like bubbling up since like that whole summer.
Mm-hmm. And it was very, again, like I know people have like dramatic fallouts. Yeah. I don't think ours was dramatic.
No, it wasn't.
It was literally just like,
it was just awkward.
Communication cut.
If anything.
Awkward.
It was very, very awkward.
Yeah, it was like, and if you've ever been through this, it's just very much like, oh, like I'm not contacting this person anymore.
I feel like a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people drift apart and it's like they don't even mean to, and then it's like, well, now I can't reach out because that's awkward. Yeah. And I feel like I felt that way that whole year where I was like, no, that's like awkward. Like Megan's like living a whole different life now. Like that's awkward. Like,
me living up my life in my hometown. So I guess my POV up to when we started talking again, that night happened. And again, teenage hormones. I wasn't thinking about my friendships. I was thinking about other things, and
we know what you're thinking about.
Okay, Jesus Christ himself,
our Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior.
Even though we literally said 10,000 times last episode that we don't believe in God. Sorry, moms.
GG up in the sky. But yeah, I was very much like, again, it was a thought in the back of my mind, like you. I was like, okay, well, Abby's having a good time. Abby's gonna have a great time at school. You know, I don't want to, like, she's going away. She's having fun. Whatever happened, like, I know. I think subtly in the back of my mind, I was like, we're gonna be okay.
It was, I think the whole, like, friendship, like, falling out too was very subconscious. Like, all the emotions, very subconscious.
Very suppressed.
I feel like that's something I struggle with in, like, a lot of friendships where, like, any friendships I've had that have, like, fallen apart, I feel like I struggle with, like, I don't recognize it until a little bit later, and I get real depressed, and I'm like, wait, that's really sad. But then I, I was a pussy, and I didn't, like, have any confrontation in the beginning, and then, but that, we'll get into that. But,
yeah, and I think it's also when, I don't know, just, like, you don't want to confront the person, like, when we were at that hangout, again, if you've ever been through this, you kind of know, you're hanging out with someone, and you just feel like a loss in connection, I guess, is how you can just, it's a weird feeling, but you're talking to someone that you've known for a while, and then they don't, like, you didn't even do anything, but it was just like, something's off, and we are not the same that we used to be.
Yeah, I think we were very intuitive in, like, seeing that, so I think that's maybe why our subconscious is, we were just like, all right, let it go, like, let the friendship, like, drift, because we were just like, yeah, like, it's whatever.
Yeah, but, so yeah, up until when we reconnected, like,
but that wasn't even, like, a reconnection.
No,
so
it wasn't.
We both went off to our first years of college, and then Megan was looking into schools to transfer to.
Yes.
And one of the schools that you wanted to transfer to was the one that I went to, which we both currently go to now. Spoiler alert, she picked the school.
I did.
But you, like, randomly... I think you texted me happy birthday. That's a random side note, but you texted me happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after leaving that night, I was just... I obviously was out of my head, and then I started school... And I wasn't talking to that person anymore. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I really miss Abby. Yeah. I was like, what happened there? Like, and then I started to realize, oh my God, Megan, you're kind of the drama. Because I am always, like, I in high school, I prided myself on being the person that was never involved in drama. I just above it, you know?
I just, like, don't hang out with girls.
I just, like, don't gossip.
Because they're, like, so much
drama. It's so annoying. That I very much prided myself on not being, like, in drama or just, like, causing drama. And so when I realized this, I was like, what? I was like, that whole night... Okay, I'm going to say some things, and I know...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, no, I was like, that whole night was my fault.
Okay.
Because I was anxious the whole time. And it's it was weird because I, like, looking back, I would never let that happen now. But for some reason, in that moment, in that time, it just happened.
But again, I don't think it's your fault because it was bubbling up. It wasn't like it was just that night and we were like, what the fuck? Like, no, it was bubbling up, and that was just, like, the line in the sand. So, like, I don't think it's your fault because, again, I think you had, like, the inner intuition to be like, oh, obviously, like, things are drifting apart.
Yeah.
I think the problem was probably that, like, months prior, we didn't really solidify the friendship and say, like, hey, like, you know, we're always here for each other type of thing. Like, we never, like, solidified that. So that was the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, I was looking for schools, and I knew Abby went to this school, and
she hit me up.
She
slid into my. No, you didn't slide into my DMs. You texted me.
Imagine I didn't have your number.
Right? You were like, "Ooh, I deleted your number."
But I was very nervous because I remembered that, and I was like, I was not a good friend. Did we text about this?
No,
I feel like
no, we did not talk.
We didn't talk about it. I didn't apologize.
We did not talk about this whole thing until we rekindled Yumi and Elmina, and we had that night on the beach, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah, okay. So then I'm really nervous, and I'm just like, I was talking to my mom because she wanted to go with me, and I was like,
wait, you have to explain. You hit me up. Megan hit me up.
I hit Abby up
and said, hey, I'm coming to visit. I was about to say our school, which, like, I guess, like, people could see, but we're just not gonna name our school.
We're not gonna name our school.
Anyways, you were
Stalkers.
like, you were like, hey, I'm considering, like, transferring to your school. Like, I'm gonna come visit. Like, I can come see you. Which I don't really know what the point of you coming to see me was. I think just to say hi.
I think it was because I was, like, trying to get you to give me a tour, but then I wasn't like, I'm not gonna have her give me a tour.
You were kind of like, yeah, just like, we'll talk about it.
I just wanted to.
I
wanted to be friends with Abby again.
I did.
I came to this school just for you.
Just for me.
Just for you. It is a love story. Anyways. Yeah. So, yeah, I was really nervous, and I was talking to my mom, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I can't talk to her. I can't do this. No, like, we're talking about it, and I feel like it's not the same feelings we had then, but I was very much like, I am in the wrong. I obviously am bad at confrontation. I was like, she has every right to not like me. This was like a one-night occurrence, but I was like, I am horrible.
You were like, she's
why
gonna
did
hate
I do
me?
that? Like, she has every right.
Which is funny, because you hit me up saying that, and I literally was like, I looked at my phone, and I was like, oh. I was like, dope. Like, okay, cool. Yeah. I'll see you. Yeah. I was like, see you then. Like, I don't, like, in my brain, like, again, I think, like, the way our friendship, like, split apart was so, like, not, like, there wasn't any bad blood. Mm-hmm. So I was very much just like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, like, stop by. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, and then once that happened, I get to campus. My mom is, like, psyching me up. Shout out to our moms.
Shout out to our moms.
Yeah,
we love you if you're listening to this.
But basically, my mom was like, Megan, okay, you guys were very close. You don't know. Okay, lesson for all of us. You don't know what another person thinks about you. You will never know until, well, you just won't know. But until you act on it, you're not going to know how they feel. Mm-hmm. And so the whole time I was like, well, Abby hates me. Abby does not want to see me again. And then Abby responds, sure. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean? Is this subtle messaging?
What does this mean?
I was like, is she just being nice because that's Abby's nature? Or is Abby, like, actually, like, are we trying to rekindle this friendship?
I genuinely was just like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, damn, I haven't, like, heard from Megan in a year. I was like, huh. I was like, this is awkward, but I was like, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, then I came.
I was super nervous too. I was nervous.
Very nervy. Abby, you actually had to come down into the lobby and pick me up. So I couldn't even show up at her door.
Weird, yeah.
It was like she had to escort me into the building.
Oh, hey.
And I made, fun fact, I made my mom wait in a restaurant the whole time. I was like, you can't come with me. You're gonna, like, you can't do this. This is between us. Yeah, and then I came up and
it was literally, like, again, corny.
It was corny.
But I feel like one of those friendships where literally, like, you don't see each other for, like, so long, and then we started talking, and it was literally, like, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, oh my god, and, like, obviously it was a little awkward. We both were definitely overcompensating with our
anxiety,
energy,
yeah.
But also genuinely, like, I was excited to see you because I was like, I, like, genuinely, like, missed you and the friendship we had, so I was like, the vibes were, like, good. I was like, I'm enjoying this discussion.
Yeah, which I think, again, another thing that a lot of people go through is you don't see someone for a while and they're your close friend.
Yeah.
And I even feel like sometimes it's still awkward. Yeah, like, I have my core group, you know, of my close friends.
Yeah.
And you know, we all talk about it always. We're like, oh, when we see each other, it's like it always was. But sometimes it's a little awkward because it's like, I haven't seen you. And that's okay. Yeah. You don't have to be, like, if you are a guarded person, it's okay.
That's okay.
You're like, sometimes I'm awkward with, like, my brothers.
Right?
Like, I live with them. And I'm just like, like,
what do I say?
Hey, I guess. But, yeah, that's basically how we rekindled.
But that wasn't even rekindling. Because then, literally, after that, we didn't talk to each other for the next year.
No, we didn't. It was just kind of like, oh, she's not mad at me.
That was a one-time thing. And then after that, we then got onto the basis where we were, like, sliding up on, like, our stories. Like, we were interacting on social media. Whereas, like, before, like, literally, like, the year after high school, like, no contact.
No.
Like, literally just liking each other's posts, moving on. Like, no contact. But, like, after that, the year after you came and visited me, we were, like, a little more interactive on social media. Like, we would slide up sometimes and be like, oh, like, what you posted was cool.
Yes.
But that was about it.
And then, I mean, 2020 was a year of horrible things.
Horrible things.
Horrible things. The one good thing.
Stop. Why am I going to cry? No,
I know.
Stop, don't say that.
No, it's crazy to think about because it's, like, 2 years later, and I'm like,
I know.
Jesus Christ. The one good thing was that Abby and I reconnected, and we reconnected with our friend Elmina, who we always hype up, our queen, our girl boss goddess.
Stop, I'm literally gonna cry.
I know. And, like, it's funny because not a lot of friendships have this, so I feel very grateful.
Very, very grateful.
We bonded over, like, obviously a lot of shit was going down in 2020.
Yeah.
And
we have to explain how we set up this hangout.
Oh, yeah. So we split up. So I was, like, messaging Elmina and Abby privately. And we were all messaging each other privately.
Like, not in a group, but, like, I was talking with Elmina on social media. Megan was talking with Elmina. I was talking to Megan. You know what I mean?
You know, like a grapevine of conversation.
Yeah, it was, like, those weird feelings when, like, you haven't talked to somebody since high school, because we hadn't talked to Elmina either. Yeah. But, like, you start kind of interacting on social media, and you're like, oh, we're, like, kind of talking.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Oh, did we lose it?
No, we're fine.
No, we're good. Sorry, guys. The laptop. Also, let me give us a chime check.
Sorry,
okay,
guys.
we're at 50 minutes.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's still going. It's still
going.
We're good.
Okay,
sorry.
We're good.
So you DM'd me, and you were like, hey, Elmina and I were thinking about, like, having a little, like, beach picnic, and I wanted to know if you wanted to come, which, kind of funny, because this goes back to Megan literally roping other people into plans, definitely because you were just anxious to see Elmina on your own, which I don't blame you. Like, I would have been anxious to hang out with, like, either of you just alone.
Yeah, I would have roped Elmina into seeing you alone, and like, vice versa.
Yeah,
yes.
So you wrote me in, and I was like, wait, that's so cool. I think I literally screenshotted, like, I have it, screenshotted. Really? Yeah, of, like, you being like, hey, come. And I was like, oh, my God, yes, let's do it. So then you put us all in a group chat together.
Yes.
And then really awkwardly, we all were like, okay, we're going to, like, meet up at this time. It was COVID, so we were like, we're going to bring little goodies and then sit, like, 6 feet apart from each other on the beach.
Which kind of worked out because it was, like, I was so anxious. I was
like... I was like, I can't be anywhere near you.
I was like, I need to be away. I need to have my little rock in my hand, like, my little crystal. I'm like, okay.
So, like, seeing you was kind of less awkward because I had seen you the year before. Yeah. Seeing Elmina and just all of us being, like, together again was, like, strange. I was just like, we're all together again?
Because
like,
we hadn't seen Elmina since high school. Yeah. So that had been 2 years.
Which, we love Elmina, and we're going to have a whole Elmina episode where she comes on, and we can talk about all of our friendships together and hype her up because she is our girl boss.
And she can give her POV.
Yeah, she can give her POV eventually. But yeah, so we hung out, and then literally...
We just
after that
dumped day though.
That day we all sat down and we were like, we're having the heart talk.
We are.
Like, we are talking about what the fuck happened, because there was also, which we can talk about when we have Elmina on. We're gonna be like, Elmina, talk about all the drama.
Yeah.
But like, there also was like
roast us.
She definitely will,
unapologetically.
But there was also just like shit that we all like did dirty in like high school, and just ways we weren't the best of friends.
Yeah.
And
just immaturity,
man. And so we literally just like all sat down and we all just like put it on the table. But I think like one of the like hardest things you put on the table was you finally gave your story of that summer.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't talked about it, and you finally were like, listen, this is what happened that summer when we drifted apart. It was really fucking awkward. I am really sorry. Yeah. And I remember you looked like, I felt bad because you seemed like so guilty. And I was like, don't like feel guilty. I remember when you were telling the story, like you just had guilt across your face. And I was like, stop, you're fine.
It's just, I don't know. You, like,
I
to
know,
put it
I
into
know.
words, it's, like, hard because, you know, you have a really good friendship with someone.
Yeah.
And then life kind of gets in the way,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, Abby and I, again, are looking at our little sheet, and I saw she
Our
wrote
little
right
sheet.
person, wrong time, and that's exactly how it felt.
No, yeah, it was.
And it was just, like, I felt so guilty because I was like, oh my God, like, that's a person that I really connected with, and who we had our meet cute.
We had our meet cute.
But it was, like, those people that you meet, and you're just like, I'm, like, destined to
right,
meet
like,
this
you're
person.
soul connected to them, but then it's weird when you have, like, periods of your life where you're not as close with them, because then you feel guilty, and you're like, wait, did I lose that, like, soul connection in a sense? But I think us, like, meeting up with Elmina again and all getting close, I was like, no, we actually, like, all needed to go live our lives, and now that we're together, like, our souls feel, like, bonded.
yeah, and it's like we're closer now than we ever were.
Like, after like just a couple hangouts, closer than we ever were.
Hangouts, which,
like,
by the way, were like once every 3 months.
Like, we weren't, like, when we all started hanging out again, we literally hung out like 2 times.
Yeah.
Like summer 2020 when we started talking. But, like, literally we've only hung out like a handful of times if you think about it. But we all, like, text every single day like maniacs.
No, we do. Or even if we don't text for a while, like, Elmina will send, like, a funny fucking
I'll be like,
meme. And we'll be like,
queen.
oh my God, she's so hilarious.
No, but it really, like, showed how much we grew, too. Because literally, I feel like in high school, none of us would ever admit, like, either A, the issues we were having with each other, or even B, just how much we, like, care for each other. Like, I don't ever remember us ever in high school being like, I, like, care for you, like, I appreciate you guys, but, like, now we literally tell each other, like, every day we're like, we love you, like, I love you so much, like, I don't know what I'd do without you.
I think it's also, too, just, like, having conversations now with you guys, and we had that whole big, hard talk, and I realized I was never really listening before.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot at that talk. We were like, none of us ever listened to each other.
No, we were always just putting our part in, and we were doing the listening, or we were listening the best that we could
at that age, and
at that age,
everything we were going
everything
through.
Going on in your own life. You're trying to keep your grades up while also maybe doing extracurriculars, and you also like are dealing with, like, you know, like maybe relationships and maybe mental illness, love that you didn't have diagnosed, or maybe you did.
Was probably an underlying thing.
Yeah, definitely an underlying thing.
That we all, we're definitely just need to get ourselves in check so we can be good friends.
Yeah, and we rekindled, but I mean, we definitely did learn to be better friends.
Yeah.
And more just accountable to one another.
No, yeah, for sure. I feel like that whole talk on the beach, like, really
made me
that talk on the beach really made me realize, like, how much, like, confrontation is important.
Yes.
And I feel like we are very much non-confrontational bitches, and that's okay. Like, some people aren't like that, and I don't mean to say that, like, not being confrontational is a bad thing, but I feel like in growing up, I've realized, like, no, Abby, like, you need to force yourself to be confrontational. Because if you're not, then, like, you know, like, things like our friendship just, like, faded, and then we never talked about it, and then that was, like, causing, like, emotional strain on us, where we were like, what's the other one thinking, when like, instead we could have just had a good basis where we were like, we're friends, like, I will always love you, but, like, if we're busy, like, we don't need to, like, talk every day.
Yeah, and I think also with the word confrontation, I feel like often it's like this big scary thing, and you have to be aggressive, and you have to be like, oh my God, like, you did this thing and it hurt me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be, like, through our friendship and through our friendship with Elmina and, you know, through my other friendship, I'm learning that confrontation can be a very positive thing.
No, yeah.
And, you know, Abby and I subtly confront each other throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just very much, once you start doing it, and, like, we're not experts by any means.
But we are so bad at it.
It's the baby steps, people.
It's the baby steps.
And just, like, the little, just, like, oh, okay, like, you know what? I didn't really like when you did this.
Yeah.
But you don't, obviously, in my brain I'm thinking that. But out loud I'm like, you know, I was kind of hurt when you said so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Or I was kind of hurt when you left and didn't say you were going to the place that I like to go to.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know?
No, I know what you mean. And I feel like it really starts with, like, going to your, like, safe people in your life and learning confrontation with them first.
From them, yep.
So we had that talk on the beach with Almina, but then when we moved in together this year.
We had another talk, yeah.
We had another talk because.
We do a lot of that.
Yeah, because in 2020, like, when we met Almina, we were all hanging out as a trio. But then us deciding to, like, live together was a whole different thing where we were like, oh, we are now entering that phase where we are hanging out alone, which we have gone through this cycle so much. Again, freshman year and then senior year where we were so close, the two of us, and then we just, like, fell apart. So we had, like, a talk earlier in the beginning of this year in the fall where we basically just, like, rehashed, like, that whole, like, summer, what year was that? 2018.
2018, yeah.
We, like, rehashed all of that, and just with what was going on between us. And then basically we just... Yeah, we agreed, like, we need to, like, confront each other. Like, we need to start with us. Like, we know we're bad at it, but we need to start with us. And we called it our Naked Truths. Isn't that what they say in, what's the show?
Our Naked Truths. No, it was in the book. It was in Colleen Hoover's book.
Oh, if you read It Ends With Us. Yeah, they call it, like, their Naked Truths. They would just say flat out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is important to have it with people close to you, but when you have it with someone that, like, you weren't sure how things ended, and you know, if you ever reconnect with them in any way, the relief that I felt after having that conversation of, like, 3 years of just not knowing how you truly felt.
Yeah.
I felt like there was just a weight off my shoulder that I didn't even know was there.
No, yeah, truly.
Right?
Because I feel like we're both the type where we just push it way deep down.
Right?
Especially when it comes to, like, the things we care about most. It's like, ooh, that's too much to deal with.
Yeah, you don't think it's a big deal, and I think you fall into the trap with not communicating, not confronting. Because it's like, oh, this isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, this is just my problem. This is me. I'm being annoying.
Exactly.
Or, like, oh, okay, they're just going through something. And it's like, no. Voice your concerns.
Yeah, you never know what somebody else is going to be thinking. And I feel like we're sitting here and I guess we have, like, this picture perfect, like, oh, we rekindled. But, like, for some people, some friendships, you don't rekindle it and you don't have closure. And I feel like that's something I'm also learning, that, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't assume what the other person ever thought in those situations. You can't assume how they feel now about you. Exactly. And that's, like, hard, but it's like, yeah, I feel like it's just understanding. Everyone's going through so much. And friendships, like I said, like, that shit can hurt just as much as a relationship.
Oh, just as much.
When it falls apart.
I think, and, like, to allude to other friendships, like, I talked about Eden a lot, but I think something you go through as well, which people don't talk about as much. Well, it gets talked about. I think my coined word for this is people don't talk about it a lot, but I talk about it. I know we had struggled because you go from being so close to someone, but now we go to 2 different schools.
Yeah.
And it's weird, and then, like, relationships get involved, and it's very much like you don't talk to the person as much as you used to, and it's very much just... You don't know what to do.
It's a different relationship, and it's hard to, like, not take it to heart sometimes.
Yeah. And like you said, when people don't talk to you as much, or they just, you don't get closure.
Yeah, or even when somebody, like, drops you, and you don't have the closure of that. Like, that's something that's, like, really hard with friendships, where it's just like, oh, and then you kind of just sit there and you spiral with, like, well, what could I have done?
Yes, let's please be better. Right? Better people. Let's not drop people unless they're being real creeps, but, like, let's make sure in our friendships.
Yeah, that's hard, which that made me think about with us, like, what if we never rekindled? Then we would have never had that closure, and therefore that's where I think we messed up. It wasn't that we fell apart, it's that we, like, weren't talking in the friendship to know, like, you know what I mean? Set that basis of, like, how we feel about each other and, like, how we would feel if our friendship was different.
Yes, I think, exactly. Tell your friends how you feel about them often.
Tell them
because you don't think it's a big thing, but like you said, everyone's going through shit.
Yeah.
All the time. And even, like, Elmina will send, like we said, like, a funny picture. She'll be like, hey, I really miss you guys. Yeah. And, like, I'll be having a shit night. Right. And it'll just, like,
even little things like that.
It's little things, and it's like, and you don't think, like, to send, like, I love you, but, like, it really does. It does
It
help.
reaffirms the friendship, and you know that, like, okay, this person cares about me. Because at the end of the day, all of our friendships and relationships are literally just us caring about other people and them caring about us in some sense. But we have a say over how those relationships go, but there's so many external factors that you never truly have a say.
No.
And therefore, I think there's so much importance in telling people how you feel about them in the moment, so that if shit ever happens, you don't have to sit there and stir. You can know, like, the time you have spent together is good, and if you ever want to spend more time together, that option's, like, there.
Always open.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stirring is horrible.
It's horrible.
I'm sure everyone's been through it, but the stirring is bad, especially if you end on uncertain terms, because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
That, like, you know, you see that in relationships, you know, like ghosting.
Yeah.
But ghosting in friendship is just as shitty.
Ghosting in friendship might be shittier.
It might be worse.
I'm not gonna lie.
Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But, and also, not for nothing, but, like, it is weird how life works because, you know, we were together all of high school. We drifted apart. We came together 2020.
Right?
We're still hanging out, you know, we're keeping in contact, and then weirdly, it's almost like I was just like, what? Why? Not to be like, you know, hippy-dippy up in here, but I was like, why does the universe keep bringing me back with Abby?
I agree.
Right?
And I feel like it's always at the times when, like, we need to be heard.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Because I feel like that's something very key in, like, our friendship, is we make each other feel very much heard. And I feel like you always come back into my life when I'm like, I need to be heard, or I need somebody to, like, show me, like, you know.
I need, like, a hand on my shoulder. I need to know someone is that, like, there.
Which a lot of my friendships do, but I feel like we definitely have, like, a weird friendship where, like I said, there's not much pressure. And that alleviates it for us because we are very much, like, we, like, overthink things, and we'll feel like, am I not putting enough into this friendship?
Yeah.
But, like, with you, I literally, again, feel like we could, like, not hang out, and I would not, like, be like, oh my god, Megan hates me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because, like, people are like, if you're shy or if you don't like hanging out with people, it's, like, okay.
Yeah, it's
like,
okay.
your friends, the people that care about you will get that. They won't force you to go out or, you know, do things that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
You'll know when you have, if you haven't found close friends yet either, that's okay.
Yeah.
That, like,
exactly.
Abby and I are close now. We're close with Almina. But, like, who knows? You know? Like, who knows?
I was kidding. I was ending this with, like, wait, we're actually really codependent. I don't know if we can go without
I
each
don't
other.
know, which is our final little topic because we're
stop.
borderlining. I just moved the mic. Sorry, everybody. We're borderlining on an hour. My watch stopped. We are on an hour.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. This is no imposter syndrome.
No, we're not saying sorry.
We're not saying sorry.
This was like a
This is a deep episode.
This was a deep episode.
It doesn't have the same energy.
Okay, this is future
us.
future Megan and Abby popping in to say yet again, it's not that deep, guys.
Yeah, not that deep.
You could have just, like, talked. You could have apologized.
This was a Cassie episode for me, and
Megan pulled a Cassie.
No,
this
I was just the Cassie. So yeah, not that deep. We know now.
It's not that deep.
We knew it then, but we were really tired.
Anyways, continue on, I guess.
Yeah. Doesn't have the same energy as our first.
Yes, we're sorry it's not as cracked out. Not saying sorry. We're not saying sorry.
We're not saying sorry. We are unapologetic about. But yeah, we won't be living together next year.
Yeah, we won't.
Actually, in a few months.
Oh, let's not phrase it like that.
But I'm saying this here and now.
Oh, this is gonna get too emotional. I don't think
it's a little emotional. Abby and I have also had a full day, just to let you know, and
a full day, what? Oh, like it's just like a nighttime, like it's literally like 10:30.
It's like 10:30.
It's like sad girl hours right now. This is when
sad
the tears
girl
come
hours.
out.
We're in my room again. My candle's not lit. And basically, what I was gonna say. Back to the point at hand. Stop distracting me.
I'm not distracting.
I'm being emotional. Stop.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it a full moon?
Maybe.
But I feel like we're gonna be faced with the challenge again of will we step up and stay friends, will we be more passive? Will we just you know, like let it drift, and which is totally okay if you want to do that. But
totally okay if you want to do that.
Totally okay. I might be a little upset, but yeah. So
yeah, but truthfully, I feel like we, again, have had, like, the most communication this year, where I feel like I, like, don't foresee, knock on wood, mention the podcast just goes, like, dead. They're like, what happened to that? We're like, But, no, truthfully, I feel like we, like, have talked so much this year, and we've gotten, like, so close in a more mature way, because we were close, like, freshman year and, like, senior year, but, like, this is, like, a way more mature like, stance of, like, our closeness and our friendship now, where, like, I, like, truthfully think we will be okay.
As being someone who doesn't, like, I never got my, you know when you go through your first relationships or whatever, and you get your, like, experience with, like, you're like, oh, well, I will never do that again or never do this again.
Yeah.
Like, as not a relationship person, I'm like, oh, like, I'm learning how to communicate through my friendship with Abby.
Yeah, and that's valuable,
Yeah, and it's like every day I come home and I'm just like, oh, like, this is, like, not that it feels like work because we're friends, but it's like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm there for Abby when I am, available to be there for Abby. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be, like, available for you.
I gotta put me first,
Lucius. But, yeah, it's just being there when you can be there and showing your love and showing your support, I think, is mainly the drive home.
I think so. Again, I feel like it's really about letting people know, like, what they mean to you in the time being. That way nobody's ever left with, like, oh, what did I mean to them? Did I do something wrong? Like, again, I think that's just really important, especially... This is kind of deep and maybe too far, but especially with, like, grief and when people die, like, it's really important to let people know how you feel, because you literally never know when you could drift apart, or, like,
life is so uncertain, so you might as well be certain about something.
You might as well be certain about your emotions, which
Yes.
emotions are fleeting, but still, I think it's important to tell your friends, as corny as that sounds, how much you love them.
Yes, and if you are at a state, again, where you don't have any close friends, like, I know you guys are all listening to this, and, like, it's weird because we're not, like, talking to you in real time, but you know that we're trying to create a platform, if you will, we just kind of, we're just know that we're your friends.
We are your friends.
And you know what? Like,
all of you.
We
love you.
We're letting it known
right now. No, this is stupid, but this is important. Yes. Because if we ever never have this podcast again, it's important to let you guys know that we love you.
Yes, and it's stereotypical, but we are here. We are here. And
in a general standpoint, I feel like it's also important to say, that, like, everyone in your life, all your friendships that you've had, you love them. And it's okay if people aren't in your life right now.
Yes.
But you had those moments with them. And even if you didn't get to tell them how much you love them in the moment, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to go saying I love you to someone that you were friends with 7 years ago. We're not saying that.
We're not saying to dig up old trauma.
But you can just, instead of looking back on it in hate, just kind of maybe reframe it and say, okay, I did the best with what I had at the time. They did the best with what they had at the time. I was angry at them. Maybe I still hold a little bit of resentment, but you know what? I had to have that happen.
Yeah, and you both loved each other in the moment, and you both brought each other something for that time period.
In that moment.
It's like people come into your life for a season a reason, or for life.
For life. We're for lifers.
We're for lifers. Anyways.
Is there anything we want to include before we let the potties head out? I think we should
let them head out. Yeah, this was a long episode.
It was a long episode. It was a deep episode.
It needed to be said.
I want to hear, like, people's feedback. Like,
we want to hear what, like...
Have you had a lot of falling outs? Are you a confrontational person? If you confront people, tips? Question mark?
Because we're still learning.
We say we're confrontational, but that's mostly, like, if Abby eats the last piece of banana bread, and I'm like, yo, where is this?
I wanted that fucking banana bread.
And also, maybe, like, how are you a good friend?
No, yeah.
Like, because also, give credit to yourself.
Yes.
Being a friend is hard work.
It is hard.
Yes. Being in a family, being in any sort of, like, group.
It's hard.
It's hard work.
It's hard.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yes.
Our next episode will definitely not be... Well, listen, we're deep. We're deep gals.
We're deep gals. We told you this first episode. We said
we're deep. We're deep gals. The next episode will probably be around March, right?
Yeah. The next episode, we're not sure what it'll be.
We'll figure that out.
We definitely will. We'll have like a birthday episode, I guess.
Oh, our girlie's turning 22.
Hey, 22.
It's actually not Abby. It's me.
Oh, okay. Anyways.
So yeah,
that's everything. We hope you guys enjoyed that talk about friendships.
Yes.
If you wanted us to go into anything more specific with friendships, let us know. But
again,
for now, let the people you love know that you love them.
Yes, tell everyone you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a weird sense.
No.
Don't go, sending them love notes or whatever. But also, just, it's not lame to show appreciation.
It's not.
Okay?
And we love you guys.
We
Megan,
love you.
I love you.
I love you, Abby.
There we go.
And that's where we'll end it. Maybe there's something more coming after this relationship?
Question mark? No,
I don't know. Friends to lovers?
No.
Just kidding.
Amy, thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
To
love
our
you.
safe space.
Yes.